it's not the SH that's at the center of any of this.
Any of what?
This issue between Baldoni and Lively. It's not what has brought this lawsuit on is the retaliation. The SH was something that was otherwise, were it not for the retaliation, would have never gone on to be anything.
That's right.
This is what we've said on this, on this live.
The very first action that Blake Lively took was because she had obtained evidence of his retaliation. So that she filed a complaint with the CRD and that she spoke to the New York Times was all a result of her having found evidence of his retaliation against her. But in absence of that, none of those things would have happened, we assume, right? Because there wouldn't have been that one reason to go. However, Baldoni did start to attack her and retaliate before she did any of those things.
So in the interview with, the one thing I don't think I actually have read is the New York Times article. I don't think I've read that. Oh,
well, she's just citing all of the same text messages between the publicist and Baldoni that we have been.
Well, I think this quote comes from it. And it then just confirms everything. So the interesting thing about it is that from the beginning, Blake Lively through Megan Twohey had very succinctly stated this. Twohey says, yes, that's exactly right. And she told me, I guess, no, sorry. This is Twohey's deposition, I suppose.
Megan Twohey's deposition?
Yeah, or something, because listen to this. Yes, that's exactly right. And she told me that, listen, this was actually not the worst that I've experienced in Hollywood. I've actually experienced far worse misconduct. This is Blake Lively to Twohey.
I bet.
I spoke up because I wanted to address it, and I thought that I had, and I never had any intentions of discussing this or going public with my accusations. So we were talking, we've talked about this on multiple occasions. Blake Lively, about the accusation, she just wanted that dealt with. This person was supposed to be man enough. And this is, goes back to what I've said from the very, very, very beginning, which is that she walked into a situation where she believed that she had this man enough character.
He presented himself as a person who's always trying to improve and trying to improve to make the experience of the women around him better.
So when she saw it was in the fucking toilet.
Why is he not doing this?
Or half in the toilet.
Yeah.
She's like, I got to speak out about this. And it's interesting because I love that she was compelled to do so because she saw the bigger picture. The bigger picture didn't involve her. The bigger picture for her was, I'm going to take my paycheck and go home. That was the bigger picture.
Right.
And she didn't take the bigger picture. It wasn't about wresting control. It was about putting this guy, it was about correcting him.
No, and after the premiere,
she's a fucking parent of 4.
I know.
Yeah. She's a mother of 4.
After the premiere, she was like, what is all of this backlash about online? And it was, he had already engaged his crisis PR, who had used this, Jed Wallace and Street Relations to create all this negative press. They were already attacking her.
Correct.
They'd started before the premiere, and then after the premiere, Blake Lively noticed, right?
Exactly.
So all of this is because of Justin Baldoni's choice to go on the attack against Blake Lively. Nobody else would have been able to do it without him. And he was the person who said to all of the people that were helping him that he wanted her to be buried, that he was hoping they could come up with a story. We need something like this, is what he texted to his publicist about an attack, a completely invented
women bullying women and all this other shit.
A totally invented attack. And
crazily.
then
I don't think anybody here would be unfamiliar with that.
And if he never did that at all, none of this would have been happening to him or any of the other defendants.
So this person posts, they say, Lively admits to the New York Times she never intended to go public or take action until she saw the communications. Right? Because the very next paragraph on this article that I just was reading from, she's saying, and then I see these fucking messages.
Justin Baldoni, he created, it's like Appointment in Samara. You know that fable?
Yes.
The Appointment in Samara, where the guy, he sees that death is coming for him and he's like, oh shit. And he runs out of town. Yeah. And then later on, death knocks on his door.
I'm not home.
He's run out of town and death knocks on his front door. And he's like, yeah, I was so surprised to see you earlier because I had an appointment with you here later. Like, you can't outrun your fate. And what Justin Baldoni has done is he's created this like self-fulfilling prophecy where he was so paranoid that she was going to out him as being a sexually harasser, an abuser in the workplace. And then he ended up retaliating against her in advance of her doing anything like that and created the shitstorm that he was trying to prevent. Now everybody knows that him as the guy who did the thing that he was hoping was never going to go public, but it's only because he retaliated against her to try to bury the story that now we all know it.
Our
It's
scientists
remarkable.
said Sony told Jen to knock it off before the premiere. And we know this. We know that.
Yeah, of course,
we
because
know-
Sony was like, you're going to fuck up our business.
Yeah. You know,
What do you mean you're going to attack somebody? You're going to put out bad press before our fucking premiere? No way.
Look, no, we won't go.
A scientist said they're so lucky the movie was a success. Otherwise, they may have been dealing with a lawsuit from Sony.
You're right. That's exactly the only thing that saved them from that. The only thing that saved them from that, particularly, I mean, we literally saw in evidence Sony saying, "You're not playing ball. You're going to ruin the premiere of this movie." The launch of this movie, I think, was
greatly harm the launch of this
the
movie.
release or launch or Sony had clearly had it with Jamie Heath and Justin Baldoni, and I think this is the part of this story that doesn't really get realized. But I think Sony had it with those two. I think
it's clear in the messages.
I think it started out fine. They were looking forward to it. It was cordial. Everybody was good. We gave you money. We're looking forward to it. Hit book, hit movie. Let's go. We got plans. We got ideas. Let's go. It's all that stuff that you expect. And they slowly lost control of their movie. And Blake Lively, as ambitious as ever and as capable as ever, was there to try to pick up the pieces. It just seems obvious to me.